Hey there, amazing news just dropped. That's going to change the lives of millions of Americans. The moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived as Congress has approved an unprecedented $4,800 Golden Age stimulus check for Social Security, SSI, DI, and VA recipients. If you're wondering how this will affect you or your loved ones, stay tuned because I'm about to break down everything you need to know about these life-changing payments arriving in just 48 hours. You might be asking yourself, is this too good to be true? Well, I'm here to tell you that this is absolutely real, and it's happening right now. After months of negotiations and advocacy from various groups representing seniors and disabled Americans, Congress has finally responded to the mounting pressure to provide additional support during these challenging economic times. This new Golden Age stimulus check program is specifically designed to help our most vulnerable citizens cope with rising inflation and increasing living costs. Let's dive into the details of this groundbreaking announcement. The $4,800 Golden Age checks will be distributed to eligible recipients over the next 48 hours, bringing immediate relief to millions of Americans who depend on Social Security Supplemental Security Income, Social Security Disability Insurance, and veterans. Affairs benefits. But what exactly makes this stimulus package different from previous ones, and why is it so significant? Unlike previous stimulus payments, these Golden Age checks are specifically targeted at helping older Americans and those with disabilities maintain their quality of life in the face of rising costs. The amount was carefully calculated to provide meaningful assistance while taking into account the unique challenges faced by these groups. Have you noticed how everything from groceries to utilities has become more expensive lately? This is exactly why this support is so crucial right now. Many of you watching might be wondering about the eligibility requirements. The good news is that if you're currently receiving any form of Social Security benefits, SSI, SSDI, or VIA benefits, you're automatically qualified for this payment. There's no need to fill out complicated forms or navigate through bureaucratic red tape. The government will use the same payment information they have on file for your regular benefits to distribute these Golden Age checks. But what about the timing? Why 48 hours? The government has implemented a new rapid distribution system to ensure that these funds reach those who need them as quickly as possible. They've learned from previous stimulus rollouts and have streamlined the process significantly. Remember how long it took to receive previous stimulus payments? This time, they're doing things differently. You might be wondering about the impact this will have on the economy as a whole. Economic experts suggest that this injection of funds into the hands of seniors and disabled Americans will have a positive ripple effect throughout local communities. When people have more money to spend on necessities and small luxuries, local businesses benefit, which in turn helps create more jobs and economic stability. One of the most common questions I've been receiving is whether these payments will affect other benefits. I'm happy to tell you that these Golden Age checks will not impact your regular Social Security payments, SSI, DI, or VIA benefits in any way. This is additional support meant to supplement, not replace, your existing benefits. Isn't it refreshing to see a government program that actually adds to your benefits without taking anything away? Let's talk about how you can use these funds. While there are no restrictions on how you spend your $4,800 check, financial advisors recommend prioritizing essential needs first. This could include catching up on bills, stocking up on medications, making necessary home repairs, or creating an emergency fund. Have you thought about how you might use this extra support to improve your financial situation? The timing of these payments couldn't be better, as many seniors and disabled Americans have been struggling with the increased cost of living. From higher grocery bills to rising healthcare costs, the financial pressure has been mounting. These golden age checks provide a much-needed buffer against these escalating expenses. When was the last time you saw such significant support directed specifically at these vulnerable populations? For those wondering about the tax implications, here's some more good news. These golden age checks are not considered taxable income. You won't need to report this payment on your next tax return, which means you get to keep the full $4,800 without worrying about setting aside money for taxes. Isn't it great when government assistance actually helps without creating additional complications? The distribution process has been carefully planned to ensure that everyone receives their payment as efficiently as possible. The government will use direct deposit for those who have banking information on file, while others will receive physical checks or EIP cards in the mail. Have you checked to make sure your payment information is up to date with the Social Security Administration? Many people are asking about what happens if they don't receive their payment within the 48-hour window. Don't worry, while most payments will be distributed within this time frame, some may take a few additional days to process, especially for those receiving physical checks. The government has set up a dedicated hotline to address any concerns about delayed payments. This Golden Age Stimulus Program also includes provisions for those who might have recently applied for benefits but haven't started receiving them yet. As long as your application was approved before the announcement date, you'll be eligible for the $4,800 payment. Isn't it thoughtful how they've considered different situations to ensure no one falls through the cracks? The impact of these payments will be particularly significant for those living in areas with high costs of living. Many seniors and disabled individuals in urban areas have been struggling to keep up with rising rents and other expenses. Have you noticed how much more difficult it's become to maintain the same standard of living on a fixed income? Looking at the broader picture, this program represents a significant shift in how the government approaches support for older Americans and those with disabilities. It acknowledges the unique challenges these groups face and provides meaningful assistance rather than just symbolic gestures. When was the last time you saw such a substantial commitment to supporting these communities? Some viewers might be wondering about the future of such support programs. While this $4,800 payment is currently a one-time distribution, many advocacy groups are already pushing for similar programs to be implemented on a regular basis. Could this be the beginning of a new era of enhanced support for Social Security, SSI, and VIA beneficiaries? The reaction from community organizations and senior advocacy groups has been overwhelmingly positive. Many have praised the speed and efficiency of the distribution plan, as well as the significant amount being provided. These organizations have long argued for increased support for their constituents, and this program represents a major victory for their efforts. It's worth noting that this program also includes provisions for caregivers and family members who support Social Security, SSI, and VIA recipients. The government recognizes that many beneficiaries rely on family support networks, and this additional funding can help ease the financial burden on entire families. Have you considered how this might benefit not just individual recipients, but entire households? For those concerned about potential scams, it's important to remember that the government will never call, email, or text you asking for personal information related to these payments. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the government and asks for details to process your Golden Age check, it's most likely a scam. How can you protect yourself and your loved ones from fraudsters trying to take advantage of this situation? The technical aspects of the distribution system have been thoroughly tested to ensure smooth delivery of payments. The government has learned from previous stimulus programs and has implemented enhanced security measures while maintaining rapid distribution capabilities. Isn't it reassuring to see that they've taken steps to prevent the technical issues that plagued earlier stimulus payments? Many recipients are already making plans for how to use these funds effectively. Some are considering catching up on home maintenance they've had to defer, while others are planning to invest in health-related expenses they've been putting off. What essential needs have you been postponing that could be addressed with this additional support? The economic impact of this program extends beyond individual recipients. Local businesses, especially those in areas with high concentrations of seniors and disabled residents, are expecting to see increased activity as these funds circulate through the community. Have you thought about how this might benefit your local economy? Healthcare providers and medical facilities are also preparing for a potential increase in appointments, as many recipients may use this opportunity to address delayed medical care. This could lead to improved health outcomes for many beneficiaries who have been postponing necessary treatments due to financial constraints. For those who have been struggling with utility bills or housing costs, these golden age checks provide an opportunity to catch up and potentially avoid future financial difficulties. The timing is particularly helpful as many regions approach seasons with higher energy costs. How might this payment help you manage your household expenses more effectively? The program also includes provisions for those who may have moved recently or changed their payment information. The government has established a simple process for updating your information to ensure you receive your payment promptly. Have you verified that your current address and payment details are up to date? Community organizations and senior centers across the country are preparing to assist beneficiaries who might need help understanding their payments or making plans for using these funds effectively. Many are offering free financial counseling services to help recipients make the most of this support. Would you consider seeking professional advice about how to best utilize these funds? Looking ahead, economists predict that this program could have lasting positive effects on the financial stability of millions of Americans. By providing substantial support to those on fixed incomes, it helps create a more secure foundation for future financial planning. When was the last time you were able to think about long-term financial goals rather than just immediate needs? The impact of these golden age checks extends beyond just financial assistance. They provide peace of mind and a sense of security for millions of Americans who have been worried about making ends meet. Isn't it amazing how such support can affect both practical needs and emotional well-being? As we wrap up this discussion of the $4,800 Golden Age checks, remember that this represents a significant step forward in supporting our senior citizens and disabled Americans. The quick distribution timeline of 48 hours shows a commitment to providing timely assistance to those who need it most. What does this development mean for you or your loved ones who receive Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VIA benefits? Stay tuned for more updates as these payments begin reaching recipients across the country. Don't forget to share this information with friends and family who might qualify for these payments, and remember to be vigilant about potential scams. Together, we can ensure that everyone who's eligible receives their Golden Age check safely and promptly. Thank you for staying with me through this detailed explanation of this exciting development. Remember, if you have any questions about your eligibility or payment status, the official government websites and hotlines are your best sources of information. Isn't it wonderful to finally have some good news to share about support for our most vulnerable citizens?